Have you ever noticed how being around negative, toxic people leaves you feeling drained and looking less like yourself? It's not just in your head. Science actually shows that the stress from these relationships do not only affect your mental health, but it also changes your appearance. And that's because when you're constantly exposed to stress, your body releases cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And elevated cortisol levels can lead to weight gain, especially around your face and abdomen, and can even cause skin issues like acne and increased wrinkles. It can also disrupt your sleep. And instead of putting all your sacred, powerful energy into yourself and your goals, you're wasting it trying to carry other people's emotional baggage. You're trying to uplift people who don't want to be lifted, trying to help people who don't even want to help themselves. These people are not dumb. They know deeply that they can do something to better their life, but they refuse to do so, and instead they choose to complain and blame others for their choices and their mistakes. There are so many people like this in this world, and they literally steal your beauty. And the fact that the stress hormone can actually change your appearance, it's just your body's natural way of warning you and telling you that those people are not for you. They are so toxic for you that your body actually needs to change its appearance to try to make you realize that you need to cut them off. And I know, it's not easy. Especially when those people are your close friends. You love them, you want the best for them, and when you're trying to level up, of course you want them to level up as well. And you might think it's an act of kindness to tell them this is how to level up, this is how you do this is how you do that. But if your friends are not interested in leveling up themselves, then you cannot change anything. The only thing that will happen if you try to level up your friends is that they're going to feel like you don't approve of them and you're trying to change them. And honestly, they might start resenting you for it, even if your intentions are pure. So the better thing to do when you level up is to let them go. I know it's hard, but it is a sacrifice you have to make if you want to really level up your life. Because the people you keep around you are so important when it comes to building the life you want. So if you want to level up your life, you've got to be really intentional about who you let stay in it. You also have to stop wanting to help everybody around you. You can't keep pouring into everyone else's cup when your own cup is empty. It's very noble of you to want to help other people, but it won't do you any good in the long run. In fact, when you're still hanging out with the type of people that you would like to be able to help, you're going to eventually become those type of people because you do become the people you spend the most time with. So if you hang around people who have an ugly mentality, then you're going to turn both mentally but also physically ugly because of cortisol. So be very intentional about who you surround yourself with. And listen, some people might hate you for cutting them off and distancing yourself from them. Especially as women, we're taught that being mean is bad, that we can't get anywhere if we're not good persons. But you know what? If prioritizing my peace makes me mean or selfish in someone's eyes, then so be it. I'd rather be labeled selfish than look back and realize I never actually pursued my dreams. And I think the Wizard Liz is the perfect example of how being selfish can completely change your life. She realized that in order to move forward, she had to be selfish in a way that would actually benefit her. Now, her version of selfishness wasn't about ignoring others or shutting people out. It was about protecting her own peace first so that she could show up as the best version of herself. And by putting herself first and pouring into her own cup, she was able to pour into other people's cup and be in a better position to support not only herself, but also her family, her friends, and her community. And that's a perfect example that when you prioritize your own well-being, you actually have more to give to others. So if you really want your dream life, you have to be comfortable with being called mean or selfish. You actually must be selfish to become successful. You have to be okay with disappointing others if it means showing up for yourself. And it actually scares the hell out of some people when they see you going after the life you want. They don't want you to level up, they want you to stay at their level. And the reason why they're going to hate on you is because you show them the fact that it's actually possible for them to step into a better version of themselves. And that is extremely threatening to the comfortability that they built for themselves. So the only way for them to feel like they're justified on keeping doing the things they do is by putting you down, because they're afraid of what might happen if they do something different. Because humans are naturally afraid of the unknown, and taking a step to be a better version of yourself is the unknown, because you never know what might happen. So now that we've talked about how toxic energy can literally drain you beauty, whether it's from friends, a guy you're dating, or even family, even though family can be a little more complicated to deal with, that's a whole different topic, and honestly, it deserves its own video. So let me know in the comments if you want me to dive into that. But for now, let's be real, there are certain types of people you have to start distancing yourself from if you want to level up. Like, no excuses. Some people just can't come with you. And the first ones are those with a victim mentality. They're always blaming the world for everything, but never actually take any real responsibility. And when you're leveling up your life, they will start getting resentful towards you, because being around you makes it harder for them to keep playing the victim. They'll say stuff like, I can't do this because of this. I can't change because of that. The world needs to change. They hold on to that mindset because it makes them feel safe, like they don't have to do anything to improve. And they'll try to get you to agree with them, to validate their excuses so they don't have to grow. And that's exactly why you need to distance yourself. If someone has a toxic mindset, they're going to keep it. They're not trying to change. They're seeking validation from others to not change. The second type of people you should avoid is negative people. They're always going to project their negativity onto you, trying to drag you down, trying to discourage you from achieving your goals, telling you that you're not good enough to go after those things, that you shouldn't be that ambitious. And that's exactly why you should never tell people about your goals or the things you're working on, because a lot of them will try to discourage you before you even get the chance to prove yourself. The best thing to do is to stay quiet. Don't tell anyone until you actually achieve it. I actually used to have a friend like this in the past, and every time I told her about the university I wanted to go to, she'd always say things like, "You can't get in. You need really good grades for that." And basically tell me I wasn't capable of getting those grades. But guess what? I did get into that university, and I did get those grades. And eventually I cut it off, even though I was so naive back then that I thought maybe I should give her another chance, that maybe she'd change. But she never did. Every time I hung out with her, I'd come home feeling completely drained. Still, I'm glad it happened because it taught me that not everyone deserves to hear about your dreams and goals. Move in silence and let your success speak. The third type is the guilt-tripping people. Every time you focus on yourself, they make you feel bad for it. They tell you, you've changed. Yeah, you have. That's the point. You're growing, evolving, and prioritizing yourself. And that's exactly what you should be doing. So don't let anyone make you feel guilty for wanting better for yourself. You don't owe anyone anything. You owe yourself the best. Which brings me to the last type, broke people. And I'm not talking about people who are financially broke, but those who are mentally broke. And the thing is, if someone is mentally broke, they'll likely be financially broke too. Because they have a negative view of money and they'll constantly talk badly about rich people, which is why they'll never attract wealth. So if you're the type of person who want to grow your wealth and have an abundance of money, you have to surround yourself with people who have a positive mindset about money. You won't attract it if you see it as something that makes you a bad person, or if you think it's the root of all evil. The belief that money is the root of all evil will only hold you back. And another thing about people with broke mentality is that they often have a fixed mindset. They don't want to change, and they believe what they're doing is always right. And if you try to tell them otherwise, they'll get angry at you. They don't want to learn, they don't want to grow. But you want to learn, you want to grow. So that's why you need to surround yourself with people who have a rich mindset. Those who actually want to improve as well, achieve big things in life, and who will inspire you to be better too. So to sum up this video, don't be afraid to cut off toxic people. Stay away from anyone who drains your energy. Prioritize your glow up. Prioritize your sleep. Prioritize your goals. Let them call you selfish. Let them call you mean. That's just what people say when you stop entertaining their nonsense. Because at the end of the day, you're not here to please anyone. You're here to become the best version of you. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video gave you the clarity or courage to cut toxic people out of your life. Love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.